10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, yeah.
Give me that hell yeah. What? Whoa, man, freak out.
Let's fucking go.
Welcome to Madness Hour, everybody. This is Yissilmissil Productions channel. My name is Steven Yissel, and today I'm here with Jeremy. And this is our third episode, and you can see we had a mad start to everything. But we are here. And I couldn't hear Jeremy for a moment, but it's alright. It's all good. We got that all cleared out. Hope you all liked the intro in the beginning. I'm going to keep on adding to that. But, yeah, it's been about a good month, and I just don't have too much to say on a lot of things. We have a lot going on in the country with the new president and Elon Musk, and getting rid of tax waste, and hopefully getting rid of taxes altogether. And I mean, even if you leave the sales tax, what I really want is no more income tax, no more property tax. I think that would be a very good deal for everyone.
I take it.
Yeah, and I'm turning your volume up here because you say you're a little bit low. But
how's it sound on your end now?
It sounds beautiful. I got you coming through my speakers, so like I don't even need these anymore.
Sound clearer this time than last time?
Yes. And
I went back with, I went with my old setup. So I got the mic set up through the phone this time. So that's why you're back at the bar. Back in the bar. Which is okay. I had to move my office from the basement to the upstairs bedroom. And yeah, I got stuff laying around, so it's probably better this way.
Yeah, like I'm afraid to click anything here and X out what we're doing. So this is a brand new setup that I'm trying for the channel. So there's going to be a few rough patches, and I got to figure out logistics on how to navigate Zoom and leave Zoom and come back in for a second 40 minutes. But it's what you have to do when you're low on funds here. Sorry, but YouTube only gives me $3 per month, and I don't even see that money until it hits $100 in the account, and it's around $70 right now. So I'm probably not going to see that money for a year if the trend continues. Just a heads up. And the Zoom I was paying $16 a month for. Most times I was only using Zoom to interview Tom, and you know how that all turned out. He got all prima donna on me and decided to toss me to the curb. So, other than that, I'm on OBS now, and I do a lot of my streams when I'm by myself through OBS, and that's why everything was working fine until I got Jeremy on here through Zoom, and we tried to do this with Talk Studio Streamlabs.
Yes.
And it wasn't working on Jeremy's end, so we'll have to figure something out with that at some point. But that's like, I have a joint account, like a co-host account on there from Brenda's show, and I was just trying to piggyback on that, but apparently it didn't work, so it's all good. I got you here now. But yeah, how have you been doing, man? I know that the last time we talked, we were talking about men's health, and both mentally and physically. And I know you were having a lot of problems with your back. As I was having problems with my back a few months ago, until I went to a chiropractor, and it helped a lot of the pain that I was having going all through my back from the top left shoulder down to my lower back on the right side. And the chiropractor fixed all of that. And it took a few weeks for the 100% to kick in. But like after that first day, I had 90% of the pain gone. And I know you were struggling with something similar very recently. And could you tell us what happened with that?
Yeah, so I finally got in to see a chiropractor myself. I've been having a lot of pain, right shoulder up to my neck. So he x-rays and everything like that, and what he told me was that the curvature in my neck is gone. So my neck is actually like straight. So another name for it is like military neck or like tech neck. With my job being a desk job and 8 hours a day, give or take, sitting for the last 10 years, it's kind of created a problem. So he did that. He told me that as far as the disc and everything like that, it looks like I'm pretty good disc wise. So nothing like in a sense of like needing to have like your spine fused, neck fused. My sister and my dad have had that done, so I'm kind of like, oh, don't even set me up to be like the next in line, So he said the joints look pretty good. He said this is probably about a 2.5 month, essentially like a rehab to get this corrected. He goes, I think a lot of the issues that you're having is definitely neck related. So I was kind of like, well, that would be helpful. I mean, because I've been dealing with this issue since September. It started here with this muscle tense, which is still tense, but I guess it's because I'm being pulled forward and straight. It's a huge, weird thing. He showed it all to me, muscles and the X-rays and the graphs and how this is all affecting me. And he said, he says 90% of what's going on with me is definitely because of this. So, how am I doing? It's been rough. Up and down days where I'm good, then not good. Where you're just like, you feel like you're stuck in a loop. Like, man, am I ever going to get out of this?
Yeah.
So it's been a challenge. I mean, it's just like an emotional whirlwind. Where because I mean, I've never had surgery. I've never had any major injuries in all the years I played sports, all the years I worked on cars. Like I never really had any, and I've never had like major illnesses. So to have something where it's like this ain't healing, and kind of like stuck in this weird, I don't know, mental state because of it. It's an odd feeling. That's all I can say.
Yeah, I mean, I feel similarly on that one. More with my business I'm running. It seems like no matter how many items I put up, I always get the same result of sales. So I have over 2,000 items in my store. When I had 500, I was still getting 3 to 5 items sales per day. And then over the weekend, by Monday, I'd have about 10 or so. Sometimes it'd go up like to 11 or 14. And the same thing's here right now. It's Sunday, and I have 9 items to ship out for Tuesday. So a few more might come in between now and like Monday night. But it seems like no matter how many items I put up, I still get the same results back. And no, I'm not going to give another 20% of my sales to eBay just for them to promote the listings, because the listings are being seen.
Yeah.
So it's not an issue of the traffic's not there. There's over 500,000 impressions per month. So it's just people not wanting to pull the trigger. I don't know if it's a best offer issue, which I've started removing the best offers on the new items I'm listing. But even if people go to watch the item, they can eventually give me a best offer through watching the item. So it's not available to everybody anymore as I go forward, but those people that are watching the items can offer me stuff. But they've been offering like 70% off, and like I just refuse it, because why would I do that? It's insane to even let go of things for that much. Like I put something up for $20, they want it for like $7. So get out of here, man. Like there were other ones that I had up for like $3.25. They wanted it for $3. That's a lot more reasonable. But once I go below $2, eBay takes their percentage of cut from also the shipping combined with the item price. So that $2 item turns into a $7 item, and then they take almost $2 out of that, which means I make almost nothing on those $2 item sales. And I keep trying to tell them that, and they're like, oh, well, I had one of them spill the beans on themselves. They told me, oh, we used to separate shipping cost from the overall profit that they take, but now since people abuse the system, everybody has to pay for it, where we combine the shipping into the total item price and whatever else they did.
Yeah.
And I guess the only good thing about selling on eBay is it doesn't have any of the BS that a normal 9-to-5 gig would do, where they take out the federal taxes, the state taxes, all the other bullshit taxes, the stuff that like you have to go and ask for a return on because they took too much out throughout the year. Which is, the whole system's fucking broken. Our system, our monetary system, is set up for us to be poor, plain and simple. And there's no way for us to get forward by asking for a quarter. You know, I worked at GNC, the nutrition place, the company that sells all the protein powders and vitamins and shit. I worked there for over a year, and once my 1 year came up, I think I was making, I gotta think about this. It might have been $5.25, but I don't think it was that low. It might have been like $7.25 an hour.
Sounds about right here.
Because like, when I got my review at that 1 year mark, they were hiring people for $1 more than what I started at, and they offered me a quarter increase, 25 cents increase. I would still be making less than the new hires that were coming in. And based off of that, even though I had the keys to 4 different stores in the area where they give me the responsibility to open and close different stores throughout the week, I went to each store for those last shifts that I didn't say anything about at first, because I don't do the 2-week notice shit. It's either you lose your employees well before that. When people just straight up and quit, it's because the employer did not try to keep those employees. Plain and simple. And with me running a business, like where I'm the one that's responsible for everything that happens, if anybody in my family goes through like my inventory, it's still blamed on me. I can't go and say, oh, so-and-so did it. Like, it all falls on me. And I look at some of the leadership in these current job positions, and oh man, there's no leadership at all. And we're talking about masculinity here too. It's like there's nobody laying down the law. There's people that I've heard, they're employees, they're watching movies on their phones on shift.
Yeah.
I'd fire their asses right then and there, I swear to fucking God. And you bring it to the district manager, they still don't do anything about it.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
What if they're the managers that are the ones watching the movies?
That's when you bring it up to the CEO of the company.
Yeah, I tend to think that they don't do shit either.
Well, I complained to Walmart, to the CEO, about the way that they were bringing pallets out onto the floor before close, and that there were customers fighting over boxes. And
that makes sense.
They did something about it. They sent it down to their district manager, to the individual stores, and they did change things because I spoke up.
Really?
And I didn't let it go. And then they had their HR and everything get involved. But like, they fixed it. Those customers aren't fighting anymore. They went to probably other stores to go fight with other people. I mean,
that's true.
The thing is though, I have not only the DEI F up everything with me trying to get employed over these past 4 years, but on top of that, Think about this. I have an Indeed account that I've applied to thousands of jobs, and I've gotten maybe a dozen where they came back and wanted a follow-up interview. And you know what happened after every one of those interviews? I got the no reply email saying that they've moved on to other candidates.
Yep.
That I wasn't the best fit. And they have no obligation to tell you why you're not the best fit. And this goes for Walmart, Target, this goes for fitness clubs, this goes for nationally televised, syndicated television programs. I have a really good background with everything that I do in the entertainment industry. But I also have knowledge in sales. I have knowledge in physical education. I have knowledge in historical architecture. But nobody wants to hire. But I see all of, forgive me for saying this, but people not of this country working at all of these places. And particularly, Walmart has a bunch of Muslims and Indians that are on staff. A lot of them don't even move out of the way for their customers. And, and they're on their phones walking like, just completely phased out of reality.
Well, one of the things that I'm noticing, because I'm kind of in the same situation, I've kind of kicked the tires on certain things. It's like every job you apply for, that when they tell you no, it's always because, well, you don't have 5 years experience doing said job. It's like, well, how are you supposed to make new people? So eventually you're gonna get all these 5-year people. So when you have a whole bunch of people that retire and you look for all the 5 years, well, you never gave anybody a chance to gain the experience. Eventually you're just going to be done.
Yeah, sorry.
Good.
I applied to AEW. They still have over 9 positions open for their crew, for their television production crew. Yeah. One of them is editor. I have over 20 years experience in editing with Adobe Creative Suite. But you know what their requirement is? Okay. Avid. The program Avid, which was the linear editing program, which is why I never really used it. I used it in college because it was a requirement. And they did get rid of the linear feature. They added non-linear editing because who the fuck wants to erase all of their work? If they make a mistake at step 2 and don't notice it until they're all the way to step 10, they have to undo all of that work. And speaking of 10, we got 10 minutes left. Look at that shit. Okay.
Jeez.
So we'll take a break. And then we'll come back for just a wrap-up. And then we'll try to get done at 6 here to respect your time. But, yeah, the whole linear editing thing never appealed to me. Because you have to get rid of all of that creative work in order to fix the mistake. Mm-hmm. And then with Adobe, they had the non-linear editing, where if I found the mistake at step 2, I don't have to erase all the other work to get to that point again and fix it. I can just jump, like literally, whoop, 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 just... It's more of a sandbox editor than what that was. And Avid was based off of you literally splicing film together. And if you messed up on the physical splice, yes, you had to go back. But you didn't have to throw away all the film that you did after it. It just made no sense. And so I don't consider that an industry standard, but, you know, Hollywood does. And I don't know, I don't... When I went to Columbia, I made a decision. I don't want to go to LA. I don't want to work in Hollywood. I want to create my own video production company here and build from that. And of course, I need money to do it, right? So I worked all these jobs. I did gas meter work for Grid One, who was a branch company off of Asplund. They laid off all of their workers in Illinois in March of 2020 through probably July. And I was part of the second wave of layoffs. Got unemployment the whole time. Got unemployment for over a year. never got another job. Not that I didn't try, but that everybody kept refusing. And during that time, I really believe, based off of all these charts I'm seeing on Twitter X, that they did DEI hires. They made sure that they were only hiring H-1B visas. They were only hiring immigrants that were here on a green card. They were only hiring people that were not American citizens. And then here I am just trying to keep shit together. And then I have to continually retract. Okay, I lost. I gotta sell this. I gotta sell this. I gotta sell this. I gotta sell this. You know, physical assets that I planned on having for a while to accrue value, I have to get rid of early now because of these people not wanting to hire people. I went to a small place, a local frame-up place, physical photograph frames. Like it's called the Great Frame Up. I'm gonna put them on blast right now. They're here in Niles, across from Golf Mill Mall. I walked in there several years ago and asked for a job. I'm like, I'm willing and ready to work. I have a clean history. I have no arrest record. I have a clean driving record. I don't drink alcohol. I don't do drugs. I'll be here on time. You know what their response was? Oh, that's nice. That's good. That's good. I like you had that. Never, no intention of hiring me. They said they wanted college-age students because they wanted to keep the employees longer. Excuse me? When I went to college, you had a job as a part-time gig for extra side income, and it was nothing career-related. It was just to get by. You weren't planning on being there for years. But what this company wanted were college-age students to stay for 2 to 3 years or longer. And here, what I really think it was, and I'm probably going to get some heat for this too, it's a woman that owns the business, and they wanted another woman to work alongside them so that they can gossip about liberal issues.
Isn't it nice how that works out?
Yeah. But you see, you can't say this stuff out loud in their faces because they'll just, oh, I'm offended. Oh. But for real now, for real, you want a hardworking individual who has an open schedule, who lives close to the location, who is reliable, who will take overtime if necessary, who will learn the stuff, who has a background in doing all of this photograph work and framing and cutting. Like you have to cut the mat boards and everything. I did that stuff for 5+ years.
Yeah.
No, sorry, we don't want you. It's getting really fucking ridiculous. So here I am now doing eBay, putting up my extra findings that I get at the store, building up my personal collection still, getting rid of stuff that I've also acquired from people that are throwing out, like videotapes and CDs and DVDs. But people don't even want to pay $2-3 per physical media.
Really?
So even with the filing for income taxes and all that bullshit, I'm at a loss here. When you were able to go to Best Buy and buy these movies for $20-30 a pop, and now people don't want to buy them for $2 to $3 a pop. Technically, especially the ones that I've had in my possession that I got rid of, like I bought at the store myself, that's a 90% loss. If you're going to look at it objectively like that. But how am I supposed to run a business? I can't get a $200,000 loan or grant like these immigrants or green carders are getting. The ones that open up the 7-Elevens that pass it to their cousin in 2 to 3 years and change the name and ownership.
Right.
They figured out the system.
The government doesn't care about you.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's...
They don't care. They don't care about you.
And the same thing goes with gas stations. You have these gas stations that are changing names every few years. That's why.
Yep.
The family's giving it to another family member and reopening it. And then rinse and repeat
Starting
over and
over.
over and over.
Yep. I believe it.
So that's why we don't have any of these mom and pop shops anymore. The
No.
ones that do pop up don't last for longer than a few years. And they don't come back after that, which is another bad thing. Lights go out
Right.
on you?
Getting used to how this room operates. It's
All right, how
no
about
way-
how about we take a break right now, and I will invite you back in.
okay.
And man, OBS. Everybody, just bear with me because OBS is probably going to go all wonky. So, we will be back in just a few minutes. All right, we are back.
I turned the light on.
So yeah, today's going to be a little shorter show because Jeremy has to get going, and we needed to try to find some time to do this. So I'm glad we got this hour here. But
Yeah.
more of an airing of
It's-
grievances.
Yeah, it's been crazy. And like I said, my whole weekend has been moving from the basement to this new room for my work office. I've been doing this since Friday night, and I'm still not done. I still got to get a dresser out of here. It goes into my master bedroom, so it's like this is going to be like a 2-week process in here. So, but I wanted you to show. I didn't get to show you this, but this was a Christmas gift that I asked for.
Oh yeah.
So for me, it's a shirt that I wanted, and since you know me, don't be surprised by this shirt.
Excellent. Napoleon
Oh.
Bonaparte World Tour.
Yeah. World Tour, and it's like every freaking battle. And actually, I went back and looked, and it's not all of them. I'm like, wait a minute, there's 68 battles. It's not all of them. And I guess they kept out the minor ones. I'm like, okay, whatever.
Man, what kind of jacket would that look like if you had medals for every battle?
I believe he had. So he fought in 68 battles. I think he won like 52 of them or something.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you'd be the person I need to ask about all of that if I ever have any questions. Because you have a very deep knowledge on that guy. Look at that.
That's just one of many things in this room of him. Yeah, he's. I've been studying him since I was a teenager. I mean, probably 13, 14 years old, give or take. Yeah, all my books on him are up there. Yeah, actually, it started on a really odd thing. My mom had got me, my birthday was a Nintendo game. And it's called Lamperer is what it was. It was NES. You can look this up. Game came out like 93. It was like the coolest thing. My friends and I, we would play this thing like all the time. It was like Conquer Europe. And, you know, the more you looked into it, it was like, okay, so who was Napoleon? Who was all these guys in the game? Like all those marshals, generals, all these people. So it took off from there. So that's how it started for me, honestly. And here I am at almost 44 years old, and I'm still reading stuff and enjoying it. So, and no, I did not watch that debacle of the movie on Napoleon with Joaquin Phoenix because it's utter trash. And I can tell you that most of the stuff I saw was bullshit, not true, and crap.
Yeah, something I guess I could weigh in on with that is I kind of expected that from it because Hollywood has a track record of taking those creative liberties
Yes.
to go and enhance the storytelling. But you know, history on its own is very fascinating, and as we both know, there's a lot of false narratives on history. And I mean, especially like the official 9/11 report. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, come on. We're constantly being deceived, and like to whose benefit? We all know who. I said on
Right.
Twitter the other night that like you're able to talk about all these globalists and this and that, but the moment you start naming them and naming the majority shareholders, you get put in timeout. And
Yep.
that tells me we have a lot of work to do to get to the point where we need to be. And that's calling all of these MFers out. And I think I ended that post with saying it's daily ass kissing, like day in and day out.
Yeah.
Because we want to say we want to take down the system, but then when we talk about the people who are controlling the system, we all of a sudden turn into bad people to the people listening.
Well, that's the question I got for you. Why is everyone mad at Elon for going through everything and the wasteful spending? Oh, he's going to take your money away. Wait a minute. I'm supposed to be upset because you guys are saying he's going to take my money away? Man, motherfuckers, you guys have been stealing our money for decades. And before me, my parents. Before them, my grandparents.
And I
So
think,
it's like, hey, Elon.
didn't we say, I mean, at least I had done a little research on the origin of the income tax. And it turns out Abraham Lincoln is the fucker that introduced that during the Civil War to fund the Civil War.
Yes.
So it was never repealed, and it got repackaged with the introduction of the Federal Reserve in 1913. And it has never changed since then. Oh, it's only been added to. Like, we're going to continue taking more and more and more. And we're based on the fiat dollar. And these government operatives want us on digital currency. They want to own Bitcoin. They want their own Bitcoin, but they also want to own majority shareholder of Bitcoin, so that they can tank the markets anytime they're tanking the stock markets. Because the crypto markets are almost working in sync with the stock at this point. It wasn't like that before. The stocks would go down, the crypto would go up. That's how it was like 8 years ago. And it's not like that anymore, because the banks are buying in. The banks need to be eliminated. The fiat dollar needs to be eliminated. And during the process of reconstruction, we will be in a barter system. So I want a dozen eggs from you. I'll give you like the rest of this cologne.
Yeah, it was $8 today when I went to the store, by the way.
Jeez.
$8 for 12 eggs.
Yeah, they had I think a box of 36 for $27 or some shit. Unreal. This was at Walmart in Illinois. Yeah.
Well, let's not forget that the standard of living hasn't gone up wage-wise in 50 years.
No. And I'm seeing these posts on X about you can get this like really nice extravagant house for like $500K. All right, first, how are we gonna fucking pay for it? I can't even figure out how to get 30 grand to get a Jeep Gladiator, and I'd like to pay cash with that.
That's what they're building out by me. All the new housing, 500 plus. Who's buying this?
Exactly. Well, technically, we are, I guess, right? With all of the trillions that are wasted from whatever taxes that we pay, it's going into different accounts, and then it's getting washed. It's called laundering money, which is what our government's been doing. And then they give out all of these credits, all of this cash to all of these foreigners who were never born on this soil, and they tell them to come over here and invest. And what do they do instead? Once they get paid the money for working here, they send that money back overseas. They don't reinvest it into this country.
Oh, yeah. I remember reporters in my dealership would tell me about that. They'd send the money back home to Mexico for the family. All the time. And he says, yeah. He goes, I do this for 10 years. I'm going to go back there, and I'm going to live good.
Yeah, because they're
But that
making 10 to 100x what they would back in their own home country.
exactly.
And then with the currency conversion, they're making mega bucks.
I'm sitting there thinking like, this is what I'm doing wrong.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, and on top of that, it's something I need to address here. Cryptocurrency right now has a huge scam market in the token Solana. There is a website called Pump Fund, and anybody on that website can launch a cryptocurrency. And what these people are doing, they're making crypto. They have a slush fund of crypto, anywhere from 50 grand to 300 grand, and they send like sometimes hundreds of bots to trade that money and slosh it back and forth to make it look like thousands of people are trading. And it goes up, up, and up, and up, and up in the first minute. And most times, by the second minute, total crash, rug pull. And then nothing. It's like negative 99% value. So what these people are doing is they're taking the cryptocurrency. They're making money through that by scamming people. You have these influencers on Twitter that are going and saying, "Oh, new coin, jump in." They're getting their Twitter follow. They got what like 50,000 Twitter followers, right? So they get like a few hundred suckers to get in on it. They put anywhere from $20 to 20 grand in, and then they rug pull it, where the original creator goes and cashes out all of what they put in, and it crashes the coin. And then that makes the people that invested after they were told on Twitter to do so, they end up losing 80 to 90% of that $20 or $20,000. And I say that big of a range because there's some people that can afford doing that. And I did show Jeremy that there was a 5x return on one of these coins that I was in that got rug pulled. But I didn't cash out at that 5x because I was being told it was going up more. And it didn't. But thankfully, I was able to recover from it. And the best advice I can give everybody here is to stay away from Pump Fund, stay away from the Solana chain with all of these meme coins or shit coins, and invest in these top 10. You have Bitcoin, you have XRP. Those two, I think, are the only ones at this point that I think are going to survive everything. And XRP is going to be for the banks, and I don't even want the banks to survive. But you also have you have XLM, you have Cardano ADA. Those other ones are supposed to be fast. All crypto was supposed to be was peer-to-peer finance transfer. So you were able to take your crypto, and like my crypto, I can send it to Jeremy, and there's no middleman. He'll get it on his wallet. If we used our phones as wallets, and we didn't have to use an app, we just like sent it via text or something like that. Something very simple. That's what crypto was supposed to be. Now you have all of these exchanges, Coinbase being one of the most prominent ones, where you hook your bank account up to it, and they track every trade you make, which is why I say you buy your crypto on Coinbase and then you move it into a private wallet after that. That way they're not tracking whether it goes up or down. And whenever the money moves into Coinbase, you need to say that you sent it from yourself. It was crypto from yourself sending it to yourself. And then they don't tax it. Because why the hell would I get taxed on $5,000 that I purchased into crypto, and then I send $2,000 back to myself years later, and they're saying, no, that's all profit. I'm like, no, that $2,000 is the remainder of the $5,000 actually. Right. And then they don't tax it, which rightfully so. And that's just a grand picture of everything, because in 2021 everything was crashing. I had to move a lot of my other crypto. I moved it into to Mattel Investments with the physical NFT cars, which are now worth a lot of fucking money if I were to sell them. But it's part of my personal collection. I don't plan on getting rid of those for a long time. But like I said earlier, I am having to pull assets from my physical collections little by little just so I can get by and pay these credit card bills down. And like I said, I had to get rid of Zoom. And I have these website URLs that I own. What purpose are these websites doing for me? I don't know. Like, I'm not getting any video work. I don't know why. I have all of my content up. People know I'm in video production and editing. But I'm not going to pay for an ad. I'm sorry. Like, I don't have $200 a month to have Google go and whore me around. Like, it's just not financially possible.
Right.
It was when I was getting the Trump bucks, and then that later on turned into the Biden bucks for the unemployment stuff. But, like, it's not happening now. It's really hard to get by. And a lot of people are uncomfortable saying that, but they're living on credit. They're not living on savings or their monthly income. Like, there's no way to bump it up. Like, anybody working a 9 to 5, try to go bump up your pay 20%.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Just try it. Come back to me and tell me the story of how you did it. And don't be shy about it.
Absolutely.
Like, we want to be paid what we're worth, but then at the same time, all of the expenses are going up around us. So we do have to pull back and cut back on things. Like, there's going to be a reaction in the market at some point. They can only inflate the bubble so much. They can keep pumping more and more fiat into the system through the Federal Reserve. But after all of this fraud, waste, and corruption that Doge is finding through Musk, like, if they don't recover that money, I was saying that, like, our $36 trillion in debt for the U.S. can be found in all of this fraud. And we could probably zero out our balance if we cleaned things up enough. Because there's no reason for us to have trillions going overseas. There's no reason. Trump should have stopped all foreign aid completely. Because why? If these countries can't survive on their own, and they're not getting bombed to shit from us, then sorry.
Why are they getting money? Right.
Like, our country's dying. The rate of birth is low. It's through the floor. 1.1 something is the average return rate on, like, families providing children. Like, you're only replacing yourself a little bit above 1. And then I also hear the stories of people who have their 7 kids. Apparently Musk has 13 kids. He's an exception to the rule, on top of him being a billionaire from, again, acquiring companies, not creating companies. But, yeah, what do we do? What do we do? And all of this stuff is going to fall around us, whether we try to stop it or we try to accelerate it. It's going to happen. And the media, like they always do, they're going to be financed to cause panic, fear, and concern. But really, when the time comes, we all need to just keep chill and stay connected with one another as best as possible. The phones might go down, the internet might go down. An internet reset would actually be refreshing. It'd get rid of a lot of crap. And then we'd have the books. Our books are where our information and knowledge are in. Hopefully all of you are holding on to your books, because they're going to be very useful in the future. I started collecting books. Dang, I don't know, probably, I'll say like 15 years ago, I got serious about building a library. And, I mean, I've had to really pull back on that these past few years, because it's just that they're so expensive. Like, some of these are $50-$60 a pop. But they're rare books with information in it that I want to have a hard copy of. So, I guess that's just the trade-off of having access to that.
That's true.
But when the economy crashes, and it will, you'll hear the media all trying to find someone to blame. They're most likely going to blame the president, although they didn't want to do that the past 4 years. Isn't that funny? So they're going to blame somebody. They might even blame you. You're not shopping enough. What did Bush do after 9/11? Go out and shop. Go spend your money. Even though the World Trade Center got destroyed, and the Pentagon a day or two before that lost trillions of dollars. I don't know where it went.
The day before.
The day before.
It was the 10th, yep.
And again, if we start naming names, we're going to be put in timeout.
Would you like to know what section of the Pentagon that area was?
It was the records, right?
Money?
It was the records?
Yeah, the same place that had a plane flying to it, supposedly. So take that for what it's worth.
I heard it was a cruise missile. And also from the footage.
I've yet to see a plane.
Yeah.
In 20-something years, I have not seen anything this plane related.
Yeah, it's very, very concerning.
Convenient.
Yeah, convenient. Yeah, it's very convenient for them.
Yes, it is.
And it should be concerning for every natural-born citizen here in this country.
Absolutely.
We've been lied to up and down. Our history is not what it's made out to be. Archaics on YouTube is actually starting to push back against the mud flood theories, which I'm a fan of. He says, since he has all of these books going back to the 1600s, he says he has evidence that it wasn't one big flood, it wasn't a mud flood, it wasn't resets throughout. Like, it happened little by little. They wiped out cities little by little to just rebuild them. So then you have to think about Lahaina in Maui. You have to think about the Palisades in Los Angeles. You have to think about Asheville, North Carolina. And I just heard today that a levee broke in Tennessee.
Yep.
So little by little, they're trying to just wipe everyone out. They're trying to take the land. The banks want the land. The property taxes need to go. The income tax needs to go. We cannot thrive right now due to all of that.
Correct.
And they don't want to hear it, but that's the truth. And actually, they don't want us to thrive. They want us to be their financial prisoners. And I say no more.
Exactly.
They don't get another cent from me.
You gotta be self-sufficient. It's the best you can do.
Start learning how to build cars, people.
I tried. So it's worth a shot. Yeah.
Yeah, like how is anyone our age, from 30s to 40s, how are they supposed to purchase land right now? Undeveloped land. And how are they supposed to get the resources to develop that land? To put a house on it? To build a farm?
It's too late.
What, too late for us? Or just too late in general?
Well, too late for us. I mean, if you're talking about 30 and 40s, I mean, most of that land's already taken up. How are you going to be able to outbid those who control?
That's very true.
That is the problem.
I mean, I guess we could say every person that is like leaving the school system now too, it's also too late for them.
Yes.
Because how are they going to afford purchasing land working at Dairy Queen like I did, or GNC, or Crown Theater, AMC,
right?
ArcLight, Potbelly. You think someone working at Potbelly is going to be able to afford land?
No.
And on top of that, it seems like it's like you need to combine the income with another person through marriage in order to make that possible.
Even then, that doesn't move the needle.
And there's no incentives in the U.S. currently
No.
to have children and get tax credits for that.
They took the tax credits away. I
But
didn't get nothing.
Like,
They got 2 kids. They got nothing.
I've heard Japan is trying to do that now, but it's almost too late. Like, they're planning on paying them 10, 20 grand per child that they have.
Right.
Man, I mean, pump them out as fast as you can over there, but I mean, that gets a little inhumane after a while. Yeah, you have
Right.
2 yourself, right?
Yes.
And I have 0. So,
Yeah.
and I'm
No
not
benefit.
married.
No benefit to it.
I'm really no benefit in terms of monetary with the government.
Well, I mean, there's
Or
no incentive.
no incentive.
to have-
Yeah.
Right. There's no incentive at all for anything you do. So you go to work every day just to be even or slightly below. Because the next thing you know, it's credit card, it's credit card, it's credit card. I mean, $8 for eggs? Okay. What's next? Fuel cost up? Sure.
Some of the things
Just keep adding to it.
Some of the things our president should do, like ASAP, get rid of all of this this interest on credit cards, the predatory interest. Change it to something else that works for everyone. But like, I'm not talking communism here. Just get rid of the interest on the credit cards. All right, you already got Shop Pay where they give you leniency. You pay every 2 weeks. There's no interest. That system works just fine. Apply it to all credit. You also need to get rid of the death tax and the inheritance tax. Anything within your family should not be taxed in order for you to have it. It's already yours.
No.
So you should not be having to pay the government anything for change of ownership over things. If one of your family members passes away, most of the time everything gets thrown out. I'm sorry to say
I got
that.
2 minutes, sir.
Okay. All right. So I guess we'll just wrap this up then. But this became like more of a monetary talk today.
Yes, it did.
And but I'm glad you got some relief from your neck pain and the back pain.
We'll see. It's a work in progress. That's for damn sure.
But how's your mood been lately? Like, has it been stabilizing more?
Yeah, it's been down lately. It's learning A, what's wrong with you. B, it's going to be 2.5 months, and then again, you feel like you're just in a vicious cycle. Like, God, jeez, got to put up with this for 2 more months, 3 more months, whatever. It's like.
I'll say
positive,
a lot of these things come from external factors, and I mean, I deal with some of this myself, and I guess the best advice I can give the audience here, and as well as you, is we need to just remember how powerful we are, spiritually, mentally, physically. Remember the place that we have in this life, and that everything we're doing day in and day out is going to reverberate out into the future for probably generations to come. So, like, we're experiencing the fruits of the labors of all of our ancestors right now, but it's also being hijacked at the same time, and that's where we're having like this dissonance of like, where is our place in the world? We're here. The important thing is we are here, and we need to just reclaim our power, and I think we will. It's just going to take time and collective energy to do so.
Absolutely.
But I think we will get to that point where we are not only comfortable in our power, but we are thoughtful and also unforgiving of those who have done harm to us. And that's what our ancestors did, and that's what I think we will do, and our future generations. I really hope we keep it in order.
Yes.
Like, we need to establish who's in charge here, and it's definitely the people that are in charge.
Yes.
And but yeah, we have a lot more power than we give ourselves credit for. And I think
Absolutely.
if we continue giving ourselves daily affirmations, it'll go a long way. But
I agree.
all right, I will let you go, Jeremy. Thank you for being here. And
Thank you for having me as always, sir.
yeah, it's been a pleasure, and I hope you continue your healing process with with your physical, with your neck, and we'll just catch up on the next one.
Absolutely, we'll do it again.
All right.
Thanks, man.
Ooh, yeah.
I want to see. I need Scotty Steiner added next. Okay.
Yes, he will be added in the intro for next time.
Yeah. All right. Cool, man. It's a great intro. I love it.
Thank you.
Yes. All right. Have a good night.
All right, man. You take care.
You too.
All right, everyone. So this is the end of the show. Thank you for all being here. I am going to try to fix some of the technical difficulties I've had, like getting rid of this little toolbar down here on my window screen. But other than that, thanks for being here, everyone. We will be doing this again soon. There will be an episode 4. So just in the meantime, every Tuesday, I'm doing my deep dive into Coral Castle with the books and the pamphlets right now. And then on Thursdays, I am doing my deep dive into the Bermuda Triangle. And those two topics are opening up for a lot more different discussion on this channel. And we will be getting back to covering film history and esoteric knowledge put into film by the elite and all of that. So until the next one, everyone, class dismissed.